I'm going to talk about how you can improve your Japanese continually on your own. I was born and raised in Japan, so I didn't study Japanese as a second language, of course. But let me share how I learned English, because that will better explain what my teaching style is like. So here's a bit of my story. I had been dreaming of talking to people from all over the world since I was a middle school student. So I started listening to an English conversation program on the radio daily. And this routine lasted 4 or 5 years every day. Through this radio conversation program that was ran by native radio personalities and a Japanese professor, I was able to strengthen my English grammar as well as my listening comprehension. I started using English when I was about 20 years old. It may or may not be obvious, but I never had a chance to use English before, so my English conversation level at the time wasn't good, right? But I was able to make friends with many international students at my university in Japan. So let me explain how I did this. If I couldn't come up with a sentence to say, or I wasn't able to express my thoughts clearly, I would spend a lot of time to figure out how I could say it. And then the next chance I had to use it, I would. I'm prepared, right? My English conversation skills became better than other Japanese students because of this. Every single trial like this counts when it comes to acquiring new languages. It all adds up. So what do you need to do this? First, you gotta be able to build a solid structure. To build a solid structure, you need grammar strength, grammar knowledge. People have their own reasons to learn languages and have different goals. However, if you think you can acquire a language just because you live where it's spoken and use it every day, that's not always the case. After I lived in California for a while, I saw many foreigners, including my friends, who had lived there for 10 to 20 years and used the language every day, but were still struggling to improve their English. The biggest reason for this was that their grammar was poor. If they learned a phrase, they couldn't apply that phrase in their own daily lives. But what if you were able to adopt those phrases from native speakers? Or if you could tell the differences in nuance? You would like to use them, right? This way you can improve your Japanese. All you need is the grammar strength. Here's an example. One of my American friends said that Japanese lady was really surprised because I started speaking fluent Japanese. Then my Japanese friend who wasn't there when that happened said, "Oh, I wanted to see that." My American friend suggested for my Japanese friend to use, "I would have wanted to see that," and explained the difference between the two phrases. My Japanese friend didn't get it, unfortunately. It's for this reason that if you don't understand the grammar, how would you be able to tell that the second sentence is better in this context? I would have said the first sentence too, but when I heard the explanation I thought, would have plus past participle. Okay, this sentence expresses that it didn't actually happen. So I was able to perceive that this sentence insinuates that I wasn't there. Imagine if you can accumulate this kind of experience when you move to Japan, your Japanese will grow exponentially. Also, you are going to need grammar strength when you need to express logical thinking as well. If you live in Japan for a couple of years with an ambiguous understanding of basic grammar, your Japanese may be okay for everyday living. However, it's almost impossible to rely on ambiguous understanding of the language when logical thinking is required. でもね、ちょっと待ってください。大丈夫です。大丈夫です。I'm not saying that you have to understand rocket science in Japanese. 違います。Think about it. You might have to discuss logically with your future spouse over your child's education. Maybe people at work won't trust you if you can't converse logically in Japanese. Well, you will have to be able to speak logically with an interviewer to land the job in the first place. If you want to be at a certain level, you have to put down the first few blocks in the right place. Regardless of your situation, if you are interested in Japanese language, I'm sure you want to use it for something important, right? Maybe you want to get a job in Japan, study something in Japan. Or maybe you want to enjoy movies or anime in Japanese. Can you imagine when you are doing these things in the future? めっちゃいいですよね。すごいですよね。はい。If you are grammar, You can enhance your Japanese from any content you like. I'll explain. 今までね、ここまで見てくれてありがとうございます。今までね、これなんだろうとかね、こんな変な絵なんだろうって思ってたと思うんですけど、今説明します。When you acquire Japanese, there are walls ahead of you. Sometimes it's like this. It seems taller than you. It's freaking tough, right? And I still remember this sentence. I told you when I was 12, I listened to this radio English conversation program. And the native radio personality said, I do my homework on a computer. This sentence is nothing for me right now. But at the time when I was 12, this killed me. I'm like, why? I'm not gonna lie, when Japanese people read this sentence, it's gonna sound most likely like this. I do my homework on a computer. I do my homework on a computer. But the radio personality said, I do my homework on a computer. This part, on a computer. But he said, on a computer. Why? I'm like, it's not gonna sound like this. I was thinking like that, but I just had to copy that native speaker. That's all I could do. And after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, I forgot. It paid off. I gradually felt that this sounded natural. I understood that gradually, slowly. So that's just one thing I learned. You have to copy native speakers. Hi. So when you're here and when you look back, like, oh, was I suffering from only that? Only this? It happens a lot when you learn languages, right? When I was here, it killed me. This wall seemed really tall, but actually it was nothing later on. So when you're here, you need textbooks or teachers. After climbing up these walls, you just have to enjoy walking on a gentle slope. For example, when you're watching a movie, you may wonder, oh, what did this my favorite character just say? And then you can pause and check the subtitles, right? This can be from anything. It can be from magazines, books, ads, advertisements, right? But the important point here is whether you are aware that the sentence is one next level for you, very next level. You know this much, and you feel that this expression is reachable. Please always on the lookout for the sentence that you understand how it's structured, but the way it delivers your emotion is something new. You didn't have that kind of expressions. And when you bump into this kind of expressions, I'm sure you'll be like, oh, I can't wait to use it, right? I can't wait to use it in front of my friends. And after using it in front of your friends, you're like, yes, they think I'm smarter than yesterday. Yes! ね。or last week. ですよね。わかりますよ。嬉しいですよね。はい。よくわかります。Since you know the grammar, you understand the nuance in the context, so that you can use it correctly in your life. You know how you can nail it. You can nail it. Hi. This is how you can improve your Japanese continually on your own. And when you are doing this, you are on the right track of your exciting Japanese acquisition journey. In order to improve your Japanese by yourself in the future, I really recommend for you to understand the grammar deeply. And I'm not saying that you have to know advanced grammar from the beginning. No. Of course, you should study one step at a time. While it's easy to use a specific basic grammar by itself, it's not easy to combine several different basic grammar and make a richer sentence. But I always push my students to reach that level because you're gonna know them anyway, because you're gonna learn them anyway. Why not use them, right? This is what I mean by next level. It's not always about advanced grammar. And native Japanese speaker sentences are like that. Even though it's a simple combination of grammar, it often sounds something new to learners. And today, I'm excited to announce that my new program is ready for release. You can study Japanese one step at a time and deepen your understanding and applied skills. Introducing 3-step basic Japanese grammar program. Learn it, know it, nail it.